Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair. Ad-darsu athaniya wal ishruna, lesson number 22. In this lesson, we are going to learn about 5 new ideas. The first one is Bab Infa'ala, which is form number 7. Number 2, Lawla, had it not been. And as we know that Lawla is basically Adatu Shart. It is a harf or particle of condition. And then we are going to learn about wuqu'us mil isharati na'tan. That ismul ishara, as we know, normally we know that it is used as mubtada and it is used in the beginning. However, here we are going to learn that ismul ishara can also be used as an adjective. So we say wuqu'us mil isharati na'tan, that ismul ishara is used as an adjective. Then at-taghlibu, which is predominance, and the last one is idafatul jumlati ila dharfi, that the whole sentence is used as mudaf ilayh. Now we have seen that we have learned that a word can be used as mudaf ilayh. For example, we say inda plus Allah, so it will be indallahi. That is just 2 words, but now we will see that the whole sentence can be used as mudaf ilayh, and inshallah when we proceed further we will also learn that the whole sentence can be marfu' or it can be mansub or majroor. And that's like where we are progressing now. So from word and from incomplete constructions, now we are moving on to the complete sentence being used as mudaf ilayh. لنبدأ على بركة الله. المدرس, the teacher. هاتوا الدفاتر يا إخوان. So why الدفاتر is mansub over here? Because hatu is ismul fa'il, so it's ismul fail, I should say. So it's basically used as a command, and we know that whenever there is a command, there is a hidden doer inside it. So it's basically, we can say, combination of fail plus fa'il, and ad-dafatira is maf'ul bihi, that's why it is mansub. So as we have in the Quran, hatu burhanakum in kuntum sadiqin. So hatu burhanakum. So it's the same expression used over here. Hatu ad-dafatira ya ikhwanu, bring your notebooks, or brothers. At-tullabu, the students. Yusallimuna ad-dafatira, they submit their notebooks. Sallama yusallimu tasliman means to hand over or to submit. So bring your notebooks, O brothers, the students submit their home notebooks. Al-Hasanu, ana lam aktub al-wajibat ya ustadu. So ana lam aktub, as we know that lam, when it comes with the mudari becomes majzoom and it becomes past. And we know that after sakin we have al, so when we connect it, we will connect it with kasra. Lam aktubil wajibat. Okay, what will be the ending of wajibat? Aktub is fail plus fa'il, so it is maf'ul bihi. And atun, atin, as we know that this is the sound feminine plural. So whenever we have sound feminine plural, it will be, marfu will be atun, and mansub and majroor will be atin. And when we have al with that, it will be al-muslimatu, al-muslimati, al-muslimati. And we know that this is mansub, so that's why it will take kasra over here. So it is not majroor, it is mansub bil kasra. Ya ustadu, O teacher. So Hassan says, I didn't write my homework, O teacher. Al-mudarrisu lima. Why not? So we know that here there is ha over here, and it is called ha usakt, and it is used when you stop at the end of a word or the verse of the Quran that ends with marbuta. So please remember that after lima we cannot, or there is no further information or nothing after that. It is only used by itself and there will be nothing after that. So it is called how sakt. Why not? Al Hasanu in kasarat nadharati. My reading glasses or my spectacles broke. Fala astati'u, and I am not able to an aqra'a, as we know that after an the verb becomes mansub and it takes fatha. An aqra'a aw aktuba, or to write. And we know that aw is used when we have a choice between two things. When we use uh, um always comes with istifham. As we know that is a combination of which is hamzatul istifham, and then after that we have so they come together, and together. Lam tunzirhum la yu'minun. So as we can see over here, uh, we can see over here that and always come together, and if we don't have then we have to use aw for the choice. So when we have choice between two things, then we don't have to use we have to use aw. However, if we have hamzatul istifham, then we have to use the combination of and Nadharati, as we know that nadharatun is feminine, so that's why the verb that is used is also for the feminine. And we know that this is ya al mutakallim, which is used as to say mine. So nadharati, my glasses, is mudaf ilayh, and it will be basically the subject, and inkasarat is the verb. So the translation inkasara yankasiru inkisaran is basically to break by itself. My eyeglasses or my spectacles broke, so I am not able to read or write. Al mudarrisu udhruka maqbulun. Another very beautiful expression. Your excuse is accepted. Now maqbulun, as we know that it is on the pattern of maf'ulun, and that means passive. So now we should see what is the difference between inkasara or inkasarat, because we know that it gives the passive meaning, and maqbulun is also passive. So what is the difference? Okay, this is maqbulun, this is passive in construction. So qabila yaqbalu fahuwa qabilun, qubila yuqbalu fadhaka maqbulun. So this is maf'ul. This is basically the construction, and the constructions gives the passive meaning. However, here it is passive in meaning and not in construction. So I hope it's clear now that when this is here, it is passive in the meaning, whereas this is passive in construction. So both of them give the passive meaning. Udruka is mudaf ilayh, plus it is mubtada, and maqbulun is khabar. Very easy sentence. Your excuse is accepted. So when you look at the translation, you can see that this is passive construction. Your excuse is accepted. Wa aina daftaruka ya Muawiyatu. And where is your daftar, O Muawiyah? Where is your notebook, O Muawiyah? Muawiyatu ana aydan lam aktub. Muawiyah says, I also didn't write. Okay. Al-mudarrisu ankasarat nadharatuka aydan. A very delicate point over here. Now we know that Hamza of form number 7 is Hamzatul Wasl. So why do we have here Hamza that is Hamzatul Qati'? What happened over here? It shouldn't be there, right? So what happened over here? First of all, let's look at the construction. Ankasarat nadharatuka mudaf ilayh, and this is the verb and this is the file. Aydan also. So look at the translation now. Did your eyeglasses also break? Now where do we get did from? Where does it come from? And how does it become a question? Okay, let's have a look at this. Basically it was inkasarat, as we know, and we know that this Hamza is Hamzatul Wasl, and when we connect it, it is not pronounced. Before this we have Hamzatul Istifham, which is used to ask a question. Now what happens, we have seen in the beginning of the lesson that whenever we have a letter before Hamzatul Wasl, then it becomes Sakin and it is not pronounced. So this is Hamzatul Istifham, which is used to ask a question. So when it comes before Hamzatul Wasl, then it becomes Sakin, so that's why it becomes Ankasarat. So basically the idea is إن كسرت نظارتك أيضا, did your eyeglass also break? But because of phonetic reasons, it's not possible to pronounce Hamzatul Wasl, so that's why it is dropped completely and it becomes Ankasarat. Nadharutuka aidan, did your eyeglasses also break? And then this expression is used in the Quran as well. However, it's not used for form number 7. When inshallah we start from number 8, we will have a look at some of the examples from the Quran. Muawiyatu. Why do we not say Muawiyatun? Because it is mamnu min as-sarf. So that's why it will be Muawiyatu. Why? Because it has ta marbuta and it is a proper name. So whenever we have a proper name plus ta marbuta, it will be mamnu min as-sarf. La, no. Inqata'at al-kahraba'u. The power was cut out. And now we can see over here that al-kahraba'u, electricity, in Arabic is feminine. That's why the verb that we have is inqata'at. Fi mahja'ina, in our hostel. Bu'ida, this is the short form of ba'idun. So ba'id, and this is ismul musaghar. Bu'ida, that's little after salat al-maghribi, after maghrib prayer. Wastamarra, so here again Hamza is Hamzatul Wasl, so we don't pronounce it. Wastamarra al-inqita'u, and the cut out continued ila muntasaf al-layli, to the midnight. Now here, if I ask you, is it from number 7, the one that we are discussing now? And the answer is no. Why? Because after noon we have ta. So when we after noon we have ta, that means that this is from number 8, which we will discuss inshallah in the coming lesson. So this is from number 8. Intasafa yantasifu intisalan. So it will be from number 8. So inqata yanqati inqitaan, as we know. And then for the feminine, it will be inqata'at. So the electricity cut out in our hostel a little after Maghrib prayer, and cut out continued till midnight. So let's also have a look at over here that al-inqita'u is masdar, cut out, and inqata'at is the verb. And when we look at the English translation, here cut out is with a space. So it is used just like some information in English. When there is a space, it is a verb, and when it is without the space, it is a noun. And we know that masdar is a noun, and that's why it is translated as cut out without space. Yanfatihu al-babu, the door opens. وَيَدْخُلُ عَدْنَانُ, and Adnan enters. Now, who opened the door? No one opened the door. The door opened by itself. Infataha yanfatihu infitahan, something that opens by itself. And we know that from number 7, the characteristic is that it gives the passive meaning and it tells us about something that happened by itself. For example, we say kasara, as we say kasara az-zujaju, the glass, he broke the glass. Kasara az-zujaja, and when we say in kasara az-zujaju, it means that the glass broke by itself. The door opens and Adnan enters, and we know why it is translated as the door opens, because this is the present, and for the present we have to use the present form. So the door opens and Adnan enters. Yadkhulu also, dakhala yadkhulu, this is the present tense. Lima ta'akharta ya Adnanu, why did you come late, O Adnan? Ta'akhara, can you figure out which verb form is this? Okay, we have ta and we have tashdid, and we know that the combination of ta and tashdid gives us form number 5 exactly. Lima, why? Ta'akharta ya Adnanu, why did you come late, O Adnan? Adnan says inqalabat siyaratun, a car capsized or turned over. So we know that siyaratun means a car fi tariqi, on the road. Fatawaqqaf al-mururu, and the traffic stopped. Now we have seen that tawaqqaf is from number 6, and sometimes it gives the passive meaning. When we talk about waqqafa yuwaqqifu tawqifan, means to stop someone. Waqqafani fatawaqqaftu, he stopped me and then I stopped. So waqqafa from number 4 is to stop, 2 is to stop someone, but from number 6 is to stop by itself. Fatawaqqaf al-maruru, and the traffic stopped. How did it stop? By itself. A car turned upside down or capsized on the road, and the traffic stopped. انقلبت سيارة أين, where. Now can you figure out this pattern over here now? How to figure it out? Look at the question mark. What does question mark say? It says that this is a question. How do we know that this is a question? Because we have Hamza over here, and this Hamza tells us that this is basically a question. Did a car turn upside down? Where? And so now we can see over here that this is a question. Let's have a look how it happened. We saw this before and we see it again. Inqalabat is basically used for the singular feminine, and then when we have Hamzatul Istifham before this, then this Hamza will not be pronounced, so it becomes Anqalabat Sayyaratun. Did a car turn upside down? Aina, where? Adnanu fil mun'ataf alladhi, in the curve which is ba'd al-jisri, after the bridge. Now we know that mun'ataf is on the pattern of ismul maf'ul. However, we know that this form does not have ismul maf'ul, so it will be used as a dharf. Dharf. So what kind of dharf is this? This is a dharf makan, adverb of place, because it tells us about what? It tells us about the curve. Okay. In atafa yan atifu in itafan is to be to turn right or left. So also this is when it is the masdar, it is called curve. In the curve that is after or when it is dharf, basically after the bridge, that is after the bridge. Asalima rukkabu. Salima yaslamu, a very beautiful verb in the Arabic language. Anything that has the root letter of salima, it gives the meaning of peace. Salima yaslamu. And similarly we have aslama yuslimu, islaman, wasalamatan, wasullamun. All of them, the verbs that are used in the Quran that have, or salimun, that have the sin, lam, mim root letters, it always gives the meaning of peace. Were the passengers safe? Adnanu, na'am, salimu, yes, they were safe. Alhamdulillah and praise, walhamdulillah and praise be to Allah. Lawla fadlullahi alayhim lamatu. Again, we have a very beautiful expression over here. Lawla fadlullahi alayhim lamatu. So first let's have a look at the translation. Had it not been for the grace of Allah upon them, they could have died. So now we can see over here that this is a conditional sentence. We learned about conditional sentence in lesson number 12. What was that? That was the use of law. We learned in lesson number 12. Law. So now we learned that both law and lawla are particles of condition. Yani they are harafani or harafa al-sharti. These are the letters of or the particles of condition. Okay, so first we learned about law. Law harfu imtina'in limtina'in is the particle of impossibility for impossibility. Lawla harfu imtina'in liwujudin, particle of impossibility for the presence of something. So look at the difference. What's the difference over here? Harfu imtina'in. So both of them are particles of impossibility. But here this is particle of impossibility for impossibility. However, this is particle of impossibility for the presence of something. So this is the main difference that we have to figure out in the coming part of the lesson. Okay, law, just a revision. Law, we need to know that after this is the particle of condition. So the first part is the condition, and we know that this is shart and this is jawab shart. How many things do we need to know about law? Number one, it is particle of condition. Number two, jawab shart is always past tense. As we can see here, najahta is a past tense. Number three, if it is a sentence that is positive, we can say, or it is like it's not negative. So what happens after that? Then it takes imperative la with that. So jawab shart is past, and if it is not negative, then it takes la after that. Let's have a look at that. So la wijtahatta la najahta. Had you studied hard, you could have passed the exam. What happens over here? Why it is called a particle of impossibility for impossibility? Because there are two conditions and both of them have not been met. What happened? لو اجتهدت لنجحت. Now you didn't work hard and you did not succeed. So both of the conditions are not met. So that's why it is called particle of impossibility for impossibility, because you didn't do this, you didn't get this. If we have after law, if we have a negative sentence, if we have ma after that, then what happens? Then when we use ma, then we don't use la over there. So that's the basic difference, because it is a negative sentence ma rasabta. So that's why when we have ma, then we don't have la, and when we have la, we don't have ma. Lawij, and we know that it is sakin, wow is sakin, and when we connect it with kasra. Lawij tahatta ma rasabta. Had you studied hard, you wouldn't have failed, or you wouldn't have failed the exam. So now, the thing is the same, that the person didn't work hard and he didn't succeed. Now we focus on lawla. Lawla is also particle of condition. That's number one. So whenever we have jawab shart similar to law, jawab shart is always past tense, and if it is not negative, then it takes the lam with that. However, now the things that we have to see over here is that after lawla, what happens? And please remember that lawla is one word. It's not two words. It's lawla is one word only, and it's a one particle, I should say. So now what happens? Something. Okay. So first thing we need to see that the past tense, and then the past tense takes la with that, if it's not negative. Okay. Number two. Now what do we see over here? Fadlullahi, something is present over here. You remember? Harfu imtinain li wujudin. So something has to be present over there. So what is present over there? Fadlullahi. So because Fadlullahi is present over there, that's why they didn't die. So that's why it is called Harfu imtinain li wujudin, that because something existed, that's why the other thing did not happen. So had it not been for the grace of Allah upon them, they could have died. Why didn't they die? Because they had mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One more thing we need to know, that after lawla, we always have mubtada. So fadlullahi will be mubtada. And we know that jar majroor cannot be mubtada. And we know that whenever there is a mubtada, there has to be a khabar. And here, khabar is always mahdhuf. It is always omitted. تقديره موجود. So basically the sentence is لولا فضل الله عليهم موجود لماتوا, but we know that khabar has to be mahdhuf, and as we know that Arabic is لغة الحذف, there are lots of things that are being omitted, and it is one of them as well. So again, just a brief explanation, that after lawla, we have to have something that is present, and that has to be mubtada, khabar has to be mahdhuf, and if jawab shart is positive, then it has to take la with that. However, if jawab shart is negative, then we know that we have to use ma with that. And now the condition has changed. What is the condition? Lawla fadlullahi alayhim, had it not been for the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ma naju, they wouldn't have survived. So idea is the same. They survived. Why did they survive? Because they had mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I hope it's clear now. كان الانقلاب عنيفا, the capsizing or the turnover was severe. فقد خلأت, فقد, and we know that this is sakin, and when we connect it with kasra. فقد خلأت الأبواب, and the doors were dislodged. وتكسر الزجاج, and the glass broke into pieces. Again from number 5, giving us the meaning of passive. As we have seen that this is mutawa'atun of from number 2. So from number 2 you make someone do something, but from number 5 sometimes it is passive. It gives the meaning that something happened, and it happened by itself. So inkhala'a yankhali'u, inkhila'an is to be dislodged. So if you look at the translation, the turnover or capsizing was violent or severe. The doors were dislodged, as we can see over here. And why do we have idkhalat, the feminine verb? Because al-abwabu is the plural of babun. Babun is singular and it is masculine. But when we use the plural of babun, abwabun, then it is treated as singular feminine. Such a beautiful expression of Arabic language. So babun, when singular, it is plural, but when we talk about singular is masculine, but when we talk about the plural, then the plural becomes feminine. Masjidun is masculine, but when we say masajidu, it is feminine. So that's why we have this feminine verb, in khala'atil abwabu wa takassar zujaju, because zujaj is feminine. That's why the verb that we have is for the is masculine. That's why the verb that we have is also masculine. If it is feminine, we know that there has to be ta as-sakina, which is called ta at-tanith after that. However, this is masculine, that's why there is no need for this. And the glass is broke to pieces. Iqra, and then we know that it's sakin, and then when we connect it, it will be iqra id-darsa ya talhatu, read the lesson, O Talha. Talhatu in kasafat shamsu, and here we have our point number 2, where we will see that the whole sentence is used as mudaf ilayh. In kasafat shamsu, the sun was eclipsed. Yawma, the day, mata Ibrahimu, Ibrahim radiyallahu anhu passed away. Why I say radiyallahu anhu? Because it refers to the son of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. So Yawma, we can see that it is dharf plus it is mudaf, and mata Ibrahimu is jumla wa mudaf ilayh. As I told you in the beginning of the sentence, that now we will see that the complete sentence is used as mudaf ilayh. How it is a complete sentence? Mata is fail and Ibrahimu is fa'il. The combination of fail plus fa'il makes a complete sentence. In kasafat shamsu, the sun was eclipsed. Yawma mata Ibrahimu, the day Ibrahim radiyallahu anhu passed away. Faqala nasu, and the people said, in kasafat, it was eclipsed, limauti Ibrahima, limauti Ibrahima, because of the death of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Because maut is noun, it is mudaf, and Ibrahim is mudaf ilayh, and it is mamnu min as-sarf. We will see in the end of the lesson why it is mamnu min as-sarf. Faqala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, inna ash-shamsa, indeed the sun, wal qamara, and the moon, ayatani, are two signs, min ayatillahi, from the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La yankasifani, they are not eclipsed. Limauti, this is lam, as we know, harf jar. So limauti ahadin, for the death of anyone. Wala lihayatihi, and not for the birth of anyone. So the people said it eclipsed due to the death of Ibrahim alayhi salam, but the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no, indeed, the sun and the moon are two signs. They are not eclipsed for the sake of someone's death or birth, as we can see over here. Now we will see over here, inshallah, when we proceed further. فَإِذَا رَأَيْتُمُوهُمَا, huma refers to Shams wal Qamar, both of them. فَإِذَا رَأَيْتُمُوهُمَا, when you see both of them, فَدْعُوا اللَّهَ, then call upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It was ud'u Allah, and because of fa before it becomes فَدْعُوا اللَّهَ, then call upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فِعْلُ الْأَمْرِ. وَصَلُّوا, and pray. Salla yusalli tasliyatan, salla, and the plural will be sallu, and pray. Hatta yanjaliya. And now we can see over here that hatta is also, it is used, it's a preposition, but also it is used as harfu masdar, and the verb that comes after that becomes mansub over here. Taqdiruhu hatta an yanjaliya. So basically an is mahdhuf over here. So that's why we know that after an the verb becomes mansub, and here it is also mansub. Hatta yanjaliya, until they become clear, yani until the eclipse is removed. Now we can see over here, yanjaliya, we have a hidden damir inside it, damirun mustamirun, and taqdiruhu huwa. Hatta yanjaliya, until it is clear. And what that damir, the hidden damir, refers to what? It refers to the eclipse, al-kusuf. It refers to the eclipse. And the translation is over there. We have seen this and we have discussed this about this, so we can see now, if you see the sun and the moon being eclipsed, then call upon Allah and pray until the eclipse is over. Now we will have a look at at-taghlib. What is at-taghlib? Ghalaba yaghlibu is to dominate. Ghallaba yughallibu from number 2. Taghliban, as we can see, at-taghlib is to make someone dominate. What does that mean? At-taghlibu is using masculine form to refer to a group containing both masculine and feminine nouns or verbs. It depends. So the audience is mixed. We have men and women, boys and girls. The usloob of Arabic language is that we have to use the masculine form. We have to use what? The masculine form. Now, is this like masculine is being given priority? Of course not. As Allah says in the Quran, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. In the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most respectable is the one who is most God-fearing. So it is only for the sake of Arabic language. It is the usloob. So what is the usloob? The audience, if we have 99 women and if we have one man, so again, still it will be the noun that will be used is for the masculine, not for the feminine. As we have lots of examples in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, as we know that alladhina is used for masculine and allati or allai is used for feminine. So it's not in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina wa allai wa allati. In the Quran we have Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, which refers to both masculine and feminine. And there are many examples of this in the Quran. And here we can see over here that in the Shamsa wal Qamara ayatani, we know that Shams is feminine and Qamar is masculine, but the verb that we have over here is used for the masculine, yankasifu, yankasifani, and that's what I have explained in detail, that whenever we have there is a combination of the audience is mixed, when we have masculine and feminine gender, and then the noun or the verb that is used in Arabic language is for masculine and not for feminine. Intaha ad-darsu al-yawma. Our lesson for today is completed, and inshallah when we come back again we will continue with the rest of the lesson. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.